Hi there. Welcome. This is Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan, helping you to take a stand and put an end to all the drama. Just think of me as your second mama. Hi, welcome. Excuse me, I am Dr. Jan, and my channel is all about the trauma and drama of domestic abuse. Did you know that domestic abuse is a dark and silent culture? Yes, it is. That is why people do not talk about domestic abuse. And yet, domestic abuse is pervasive. It is everywhere. I know because I lived 42 years as a victim of domestic abuse. And in all of that time, I never told anyone what I was going through in my personal life, not even my family. I remained silent all through the years I experienced the physical violence, the emotional and verbal abuse, and didn't say a word as I went through that psychological mind game called gaslighting. Never said a word. I just suffered in silence. But those days of silence are over. We are opening up, and on Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan, we're going to talk about domestic abuse. Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan is my life story. It's all about how I healed and recovered from the trauma and drama of domestic abuse, and how I moved from victim to victory. I am 85 years young. I was born in 1939, and I am a successful survivor and overcomer of domestic abuse, not just once, but twice. And I'm still in my right mind, and I don't look like where I've been. And yet, I have been to hell and back. We want to do two things with this channel. Number one, we want to shed a bright light on this dark and silent culture. And number two, we want to encourage, equip, and empower those of you who have been victims and those of you who don't understand the victimization, so that you can understand also to help someone heal and recover, rise and reclaim your life again. Because there is life after trauma with Dr. Jan. This is episode 9, and today we are going to talk about toxic abusers. Now, there are many types of toxic abusers who try to get over on unsuspecting victims, and today we want to raise red flags and give you the characteristics of 3 toxic abusers. But before we get started, I want you to subscribe and like this channel. Hit that subscribe button below there and hit that like button. Help me reach 3,000 people, subscribers, and those who like this program to grow this channel. Thank you for subscribing and liking. Now, let's get started. There are many types of toxic abusers who try to get over on unsuspecting victims. But today, we want to raise red flags and point out 3 specific types of abusers. Red flag number one is the manipulator. Now, the manipulating an abuser, what does that person want to do? They want to control you or influence you. And I need to say this because we generally think of domestic abusers as male, as someone masculine. But that's not always true. In each one of these red flags that we're going to talk about, they could be male or female. So don't get hung up in thinking that women don't abuse, because that is not true. Women are some of the worst abusers, and there are men who are victims of domestic abuse. They don't get much attention, but they do suffer from some strong-willed and some sneaky women. But just don't put a gender on this abuser. Just take the qualifications and they will fit in both categories. Also, the red flag number one is the manipulator, male or female. They want to control you. They want to influence you in order to get what they want from you. Control is power. And the toxic manipulator wants to gain power over you so that they can control you. One way to manipulate is to control and influence. One way that they do this is to isolate you, to keep you away from family and friends. They will constantly criticize you and put you down if you are not doing what they want you to do. This is a great indicator. Most victims want to please others, and so the manipulator will try to overwhelm you, get you disoriented, and when the relationship does not go well, and it won't, then the abuser will shift the blame from themselves to you. It will always be your fault, never them. The manipulator will try to manipulate your thoughts and your behaviors if you let them. They will play on your emotions and try to make you feel sorry for them. And if that doesn't work, well, they will use the guilt trip tactic to get you to give in and let them have their way. The manipulator often leaves you feeling, shall I say, confused or anxious. You have the feeling that you are walking on eggshells. So beware of this poisonous personality type, abuser number one, the manipulator. Red flag number two is the verbal abuser. And this abuser doesn't use physical violence, never uses their hands to hit you or hurt you that way. But a verbal abuser uses words to abuse you. As we said before, all abuse is about power and control. And the verbal abuser will not use their hands to slap you around, push you. No, they use words. They use words that say, I love you, but don't believe them. To me, the verbal abuse can be worse than physical abuse. And you say, Dr. Jan, how can you say that? Why? I say that verbal abuse can sometimes be worse than physical abuse is because verbal abuse is so hard to prove. And verbal abuse is hard to prove and pinpoint where you have been abused. You can see the wounds from physical abuse. They are generally the tell signs from a slap or a punch or twisting of the arm, the pulling of the hair. Physical abuse hurts and it leaves scars most of the time. And those bruises will fade with time. Verbal abuse, however, is different. Words hurt. They hurt deeply, but they do not always leave a physical scar. And because words can kill the soul from the inside, you can go and get an x-ray of a broken bone, but you can't get an x-ray of a broken heart. And yet you sometimes are worse off with that verbal abuse than the physical. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. The Bible tells us that. And that tongue is one of the most dangerous weapons an abuser can use on his or her victim. Excuse me. Question: what is verbal abuse? How is it used? Well, the verbal abuser uses words that can heal or kill. The verbal abuser can be quiet or loud, smooth or rough. But the difference in abuse meant to hurt and harm the victim. The verbal abuser knows what they're doing. Those words are not at random. They know how they are hurting you, and yet they continue to do it. Question: what are some ways that verbal abusers use their words? Well, I need you to make a list of this and listen carefully, because you may be verbally abused already and you yet don't realize it. So what are some of the words verbal abusers would use on you? They will accuse you. They will belittle you. Verbal abusers will betray your confidences. They will shift blame from themselves to you. They will break promises, bully you, complain chronically about you, control the conversations, criticize you unjustly, degrade you, put you down, make you feel bad and ashamed of yourself, disgrace you in front of others, insult you, interrupt you constantly, mock you, ridicule you, shame you, and slander you. Some verbal abusers will even curse and speak profanity to you, tease you, or terrorize you, threaten you, yell, scream, or shout at you. All of these are verbal abuse. And sometimes it's not easy to identify that you have been verbally abused, because the abuser will say, they just didn't want to hurt your feelings, or whatever they're doing, they just want to help you. But don't believe them. Go by the way their words make you feel. And if you feel badly and your self-esteem is being beaten down and you feel put down, then this is verbal abuse used by the abuser in personal relationships. These behaviors are not mistakes. They are intentional. That verbal abuser knows exactly what words to do, to use to hurt you. And this is a warning sign that you are in an abusive relationship. We have talked about number one, the manipulator. And we have talked about number two, the red flag. Number two, the verbal abuser. And the last abuser we're going to talk about today, to me, is the most dangerous abuser. This is red flag number three, the charmer. Yes, the charmer abuser. It almost sounds like an oxymoron. It just doesn't make sense. How can you be a charmer and also an abuser? Easily. The charmer toxic abuser is rather difficult to detect at first. The charmer is someone who behaves in a friendly, pleasant, and attractive way. This person, male or female, remember, abusers can be from both sex. The charmer who makes you feel so comfortable and drawn to them, so much so that you end up letting your guard down. They often use the wit, humor, genuine interest to engage and draw you in. The charmer is so likable. They're smart, they're funny. The charmer can literally sweep you off your feet. They appear to be thoughtful, engaging, and even charismatic. They charm you to gain your trust, and then they begin to manipulate you. They charm you to gain personal information about you in order to maintain control over you. Now, the charmer seldom uses violence. You see, he or she is too subtle to use something as coarse as violence. But the charmer may use insults, threats, or intimidation to control you. So how does the charmer use their charm? What do they do in order to get over on you and you not suspect that they are abusing you? Well, what they do is the charmer will shower you with attention and affection, creating an intense love called love bombing. Have you ever heard of that before? Mm-hmm. And this love bombing can make it difficult for you, the victim, to recognize that you're even being abused. But you are being abused. The charmer will identify your vulnerabilities, your past traumas, and then they will use that knowledge to exploit you and exert power and control over you. You see, the charmer is so deceptive, so slick, that you might find yourself emotionally attached to them before you realize that you have been scammed by them. So be wary. Be wary of the charmer, because the charmer will catch you off guard. Why? They will catch you off guard because they do not appear to be as ruthless, as callous, as hard-hearted, cruel person that they really are. They just don't look like it. Charmers are intelligent, manipulative, and tricky. And all I can say is that when it comes to the charmer, beware. because you are in total danger. Knowledge is power. Do yourself a favor. Keep these 3 toxic abusers out of your life. And if you come across any of these 3 toxic abusers, the manipulator, the verbal abuser, and especially the charmer, run. Don't walk. Run away as fast as you can. Remember what that beautiful Maya Angelou said so eloquently to us. She said, when a person takes the time to show you who they truly are, believe them the first time. There you have it. This is episode 9, and we gave you 3 red flags to warn you about the manipulator, the verbal abuser, and the charmer. Now, there are many other kinds of toxic abusers in relationships, and we will touch on those others from time to time. What I want you to do now is to remember to subscribe and like and grow this channel, Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan. And also click my website, JNB Ministries. Those letters stand for Jan Norberg Ministries, jnbministries.org. And check out, once you get into that website, check out my ebook. I have an ebook entitled Testimony of a Kept Woman, From Misery to Ministry Instead of the State Penitentiary. That's the name of my book. It's an ebook. It's a memoir. It's my life story. It has short chapters, easy to read book. It tells you all about how I lived those 42 years in domestic abuse. It talks about the physical violence, the emotional and verbal abuse, plus the gaslighting. So also check out my digital curriculum below. It's in my website, and the digital curriculum is called 7 Power Keys: How to Heal and Recover from the Trauma and Drama of Domestic Abuse. And in this digital curriculum, I spell out the specific keys and strategies that helped me to heal and recover. And so this is Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan. And I want to thank you for subscribing and liking my channel. God bless you. And we will see you the next time for another episode in Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan. So long. See you next time. Bye-bye.